we're here today interviewing our good friend Kim Edwards, who is a wonderful songwriter. She has a new song called Far. Kim has done a bunch of our workshops. She has been a part of our TOTB community for quite a few years now, and we're really excited to talk with her today about her writing process with the song Far.
Hey guys, thank you so much for chatting with me. I love it. I love seeing you guys.
So good to see you.
Ditto.
We would love to know, what part of the song did you write first, and how did the rest come together?
This song's actually a couple years old, believe it or not. It just takes me a long time sometimes to get it across the finish line. But if I remember correctly, I think I wrote this song all in one day, which is really not the norm for me at all. Usually, thinking back on it, just the first verse and chorus usually flow, and then I always get stuck second verse because I don't know what to say after that. But yeah, no, it was unusual in that it took me, I think, less than 24 hours to write the whole thing. That never ever happens.
Wow. Well, that was my next question, was how long did it take to write the song? So that's great. That's awesome. What instruments did you use when you were writing this song?
Normally, I write on piano and maybe ukulele or guitar. This was also unusual for me in that I decided to build a track out in Logic, which I think I'd only ever done really once before. So I started with a beat and with a bunch of synth pads. And that was challenging but fun because, I don't know, when you write on a different instrument, even if it's just synth pads, creatively it just makes different wheels turn. So you're not always playing the same, your hands aren't going to the same places necessarily as you would on a piano.
What is your typical writing process more like?
So my typical songwriting process is usually I'll start with the music. The chords will flow either on the piano or on guitar. As far as melodies go, those I start kind of experimenting with maybe some nonsense words. A lot of times I feel like the music dictates the words for me. In this instance, I had a different experience because I was speaking with a couple friends around a dinner table. We were talking about past relationships, and that kind of sparked it. The music had a vibe to it, but it was really easy to get into the message of the song, the content, because they already had all those stories conjured up.
That's awesome. For this song, would you say, like, which parts of the writing process came the most easily to you, and which parts felt like there were a little bit more work?
Surprisingly, the melody for the chorus came easier to me this time. And some of that I think is fueled by the lyrics. And whenever I'm in a spot where the song story is really, really personal to me, or it's something that I can really slip into and emotionally, it just seems like, man, it's the easiest thing. It was really difficult production-wise, I think, to iron out all the different details. I had good bones, but it was a much longer road to make it come to life in the studio. So yeah, the production was a little tricky because, I mean, it's obviously got a vibe. I had a vision for it to kind of be a little bit 80s, but I didn't want it to be like overtly kick you in the face with Stranger Things 80s. But I feel like it's hard to get that really good balance and to know how to, program the drums just right. So I took it as far as I could in Logic with a good demo. And then I brought in another producer. His name is Jared Salt, and he produced my last single, When We Were Young. And Jared is just amazing. And I was able to send over the MP3, and he picked up on it exactly what I wanted. And actually, I think he kept most of my original demo in the song. He just added different parts, tweaked the drums a little bit, which was gratifying to me because I really wanted to produce it myself and be like, I did this. But, you have to sort of serve the song first and realizing what your strengths are versus your weaknesses. And I just knew that Jared would be able to add that polish that I couldn't do on my own. So it was great to have him be a part of the process.
You have so many strengths.
Wow,
You really do. What does this song mean to you? Is there a particular lyric that has extra significance for you?
So yeah, so this song was born around the kitchen table with my best friend Sarah and her sister Hannah. And we were talking one night about past relationships, whether it be romantic or just friendships, where it feels sometimes you get burned. Like you either invest in somebody and they don't reciprocate, or you do put your trust in somebody and then something happens and you end up with emotional baggage that you don't mean to carry on in the future, but it's hard when those experiences taint every other experience that comes forward. And so just talking about the frustration of you want to be open to new possibilities, but it's so hard sometimes. And you're self-aware of that, but it's just like, I don't know what to do. This is where I'm at. This is how I feel. You know, the lyric that probably sticks out to me the most is the very last chorus where it says, could the walls come down and for how long? Enough for you to prove me wrong? And so that is, I think, something that I've related to in the past where it's like, I see you, I think you're really great. It's hard for me to bring these walls down. I want to so badly. Could I even do it? Could I even do it long enough to let you get into my heart? And so I think, yeah, and for a lot of people, this is not going to be a lift you up kind of song. This is more of like, let me put my arm around you and sit right here with you because this is where you're at. It's okay.
I love that. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you'd like to share about this song?
I'm very much a songwriter at heart, like a singer-songwriter at heart. This is not my typical sound that you've necessarily heard from me in the past. But, I mean, it's fun to explore. I think at its core, you still hear very much a singer-songwriter song in there. But then there's like these fun little things, like I'm a big Vampire Weekend fan, and there's a little homage to that in the instrumental bridge. A little slight touch of a Baroque synth pop feel in there. It's definitely a vibey song, but it's got a lot of fun things too in it.
I just love that you're, interview aside, that you're like comfortable enough to try something new and put a song out and not worry about it being what other people know as Kim Edwards music already, because you can just do what you want.
I'll tell you, I think it's because I turned 30 not too long ago. My friend once told me, she was like, your 30s are way better than your 20s because you care way less about what other people think. Especially in music, I'm like, I don't care. If anybody ever knows who I am, great. If nobody knows who I am, that's fine. I just want to make music that I like, and I don't care about staying in my lane anymore. I'm just like, I just want to make songs I really like.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay, our last question is, how was your experience working with Thinking Outside the Blocks, and did working with us affect your writing process with this song? If so, how? No pressure if it did not at all.
No, that's okay. This song's actually pre-thinking outside the blocks, but I definitely look over everything with a thinking outside the blocks lens now. Even as far as like editing and making sure that it's saying what I want, the way I want. Is there room to improve? But no, I love thinking outside the blocks. My whole entire next album is going to be nothing but thinking outside the blocks song, probably. It's really been great to have you guys as mentors and having just people to bounce songs off of, but really constructive criticism. And I've been through a lot of different workshops where it's not constructive, and it's so easy to come into a workshop with someone who has a very predefined idea of what a successful song should sound like or look like. And I think what's been so great about you both is you're able to give good universal tools to songwriters, but still let them be themselves. They don't have to fit into this one box. Hence, thinking outside the box. In many different ways. but it's definitely helped me pass my writer's blocks, and just the community. It's been so great checking in on Facebook, and everybody is really encouraging and really supportive, and that's something that's really, you know, helpful and I think necessary. It's so easy to be in competition with other artists, and it's so silly, you know. But we do that. But thinking outside the box has been just uber supportive, and the workshops have been just amazing.
It
Thank
sounds like we
you.
wrote that script for you.
Thinking outside the box, man, like,
Well, I'm really excited for you. We're both really excited for you to release Far.
definitely.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.